This morning we're talking to Jon Wardle, who is the Director of the National Centre for Naturopathic Medicine at Southern Cross University. Thanks for coming in today, Jon.
Good morning, Eve. Thanks for having me.
Jon, up until now there have been several therapies that have been prohibited from receiving a rebate. Has that changed?
Yeah, sure. So there were 16 therapies originally prohibited, and these were everything from iridology to homeopathy to naturopathy to yoga. After a 5-year review, 7 of those therapies were brought back in terms of being able to be rebated by private health insurance. The 7 therapies that were included were a pretty disparate bunch. So they include Alexander technique, which works on posture and sort of voice and breath work as well to actually achieve health outcomes. Yoga, which a lot of people are familiar with, of course. Tai Chi, which is another mind-body technique from the Chinese tradition. Pilates, which is a physiotherapy technique which actually supports musculoskeletal health. Naturopathy, which is a whole system of practice which works on encouraging the body's own natural healing abilities. Western herbal medicine, which is the European cultural tradition of herbal medicine, as well as that shiatsu, which is a Japanese form of massage.
What is it about the therapy that has changed?
Well, nothing about the therapies has actually changed. What actually happened is the original review was not really that comprehensive. The original review didn't take into account a lot of the nuances of treatments. So, for example, they looked at evidence for herbal medicines themselves and said, well, that's not really relevant to the practice of herbalists. That's a bit of a funny argument to make. They looked at things like massage research and said, well, Swedish massage might work, but Japanese forms of massage won't. So this review was a little bit more comprehensive, took a lot of that nuance and that context into place. So a lot of the therapies themselves haven't changed, but the evidence base has increased. More and more research is happening. More and more integration is happening, not necessarily in Australia, but certainly overseas. And that actually gave a larger body of evidence to actually support reintroduction of these therapies into private health insurance.
Jon, do you feel this is a positive move from the health department?
Oh, completely. But this was a review that answered a very specific policy question: should these therapies be included in private health insurance? But really there's so many more unanswered questions. The review allowed therapies that had evidence of benefit in multiple conditions to be re-included, but there are some therapies that have a good body of evidence in a single condition, like Boteico for asthma, for example. We need to consider how these might be able to be accessed by the public for that condition. It had no answer about how we might include it in things like veterans' health or hospital care or community care. And of course, the evidence had changed so much from one review to the other in just 5 years that really the government needs to come on board and actually keep up to date with the review, include or exclude therapies based on that evolving evidence, but also take a more proactive stance in terms of actually doing the research themselves. So this is definitely a positive step, but it really needs to be the beginning of the process, not the end of it.
Jon, it's been really nice to meet you today. Thanks for coming in to talk to us.
Thanks for having me, Eve. I'm really excited to talk about this topic and would love to hear from your readers and listeners about what other therapies they're interested in too.